Yo, people, what's happening? It's Mr. Gavin Cameron. Now, I watch a lot of videos, taking a lot of content on inspirational stuff, different people on the internet that I watch. People that before I really was into the internet, yes, I'm a bit of an old guy. Before YouTube, before like social media and that, I still used to follow a lot of people, a lot of inspirational people, just to get to a point where I actually went self-employed myself. It didn't happen overnight. We're talking years of like, I suppose, research, if you like. And I thought what I'm going to do is put together a series of videos for you guys to see some of the content that is now widely available on YouTube from some of the people that I've been following from when I was younger, and see some of the stuff that I've taken in, and maybe it'll help some of you guys that are in a position I was in a couple of years ago, thinking about going self-employed, not quite sure how to do it, if to do it, or why to do it. And yeah, these sort of videos will help you make a decision, I'm sure. Now, the first person I'm going to look at talking about is one of my biggest inspirations, a guy called Dame Dash. Some of you will know him from the Rocafella days. Used to manage Jay-Z. We actually started Rocafella Records with Jay-Z. Now, Rocafella Records, you're talking people like Kanye West come from there. Obviously, Jay-Z himself, Beanie Siegel, the Dipsets, so like Cameron. They were all signed to Rocafella. For me, growing up as a massive hip hop fan in the 90s and early 2000s, Rocafella Records is like a big part, like a pillar, if you like, in my music loving life, I guess. I don't know how to put it exactly, but yeah, Rocafella holds a big place in my heart. But whereas everyone wanted to be Jay-Z or Kanye West, I wanted to be Dame Dash. And here's some of the clips that are on the internet now. I'm going to put them all in the description below so you lot can actually watch the full interviews. But there's a few different interviews I've taken bits from and different things he's talking about. So the first one I find very relevant to myself. Now, without trying to spoil it, I'm going to show you the clip in a second. He talks about how a job can be taken away from you tomorrow, and are you really secure? And if you're feeling that you might not be secure, how you can switch up and go to the next level and become an entrepreneur and have your own business. Take a look.
People think it's safe to have a job, but if somebody can fire you, how is that safe?
Right.
Period. Like, you got to be nice to somebody. If they don't like you, they can fire you. And the people that can fire you don't be owning the shit neither. They be supervisors. So then it becomes like political. There's no politics when you're the boss. It's my way or no way.
Yeah, because I believe that. You see that at any point, no matter how much you contribute, that whole thing can be taken away at any particular time.
Right.
So how does somebody then go and just make that shift to
the same shit they're doing for somebody else, do it for yourself.
Right.
If you're a paid editor, edit your own movie. You're a paid writer, write it your own motherfucking magazine. You know, it's like the thing is nobody ever gave me anything. No one gave me no record deal. I had to do it myself.
Right.
So imagine if I would have waited for a deal for Jay-Z, there'd be no Jay-Z, there'd be no Kanye, there'd be no Lee Daniels, there'd be no Kevin Hart, there'd be no Rachel Roy.
Right.
None of that. You know what I'm saying? Right. None of them, I had to build all that. Like, no one's going to hire me to direct. You know what I mean? No one's going to hire me to be the CEO of a company. I made the company. I'm the CEO of it. Period. That's that.
So as you see there, yeah, he's talking quite clearly that a job literally can be taken away from you at the drop of a hat for the simple fact that you didn't get on with your boss. You upset him that day. You made a mistake. Anything. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this that have been sacked from a job or be made redundant. There's so many different ways it can happen. But obviously, if you hustle, become self-employed, become independent, it's only down to you. And I learned that over my time. Okay, now the next thing, doing things like I'm doing right now, building content, creating content for the internet, having direct-to-consumer marketing. Dame talks about this in the next clip. I'm going to show you what he says.
So regardless of what, I'm always looking to do something that nobody's doing. So all I was looking at was what's the next wave logically. It was just logically. I was paying attention. You know what I'm saying? So once I realized it, I was like, it's the internet? This freedom was ridiculous. And plus, like, it was like, damn, if I know how to make this shit myself, like, content is like currency. It's the thing that makes money forever and ever. It's like when somebody smokes a joint, the weed is gone. You got to grow more weed. When somebody looks at something, you can pay over and over again to see it, and you ain't got to keep making it. I just look at what people pay for and do it myself. I'm the plug. I'm never a customer. Do it yourself and leverage your own celebrity.
Right.
So instead of letting somebody else make it, we make it, and then we don't have to pay for the marketing. It's easy. So now that I'm a brand for doing that, I can now completely invest in myself. But there's two games. One is making good work, and one is leveraging celebrity.
Right.
The good work, you ain't got to move. Good work, they find you. You ain't even got to promote your destination. When you ain't doing shit too good, that's when there's the overcompensation. You start hitting the red carpets every day and doing other shit to distract from the fact that you have no talent. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, you've seen it there. It's very, very easy in this day and age to go direct to consumer. Long gone are the days where you had to be able to kick down a load of doors to get to your customer. Even where he comes from in the music industry, it's changed. You can now get your stuff on Spotify and be streaming within a couple of days. As far as I know, I'm not in the music industry, but I know when I was trying to get into the music industry as a manager, just to get your video on the TV and get it out there was a headache. Whereas now you got YouTube, like you're watching me on YouTube right now. If you're a music artist, you're thinking about it, you can get a video done. You can shoot on your phone, get it out there really quick. If you're thinking about starting up a business, I've entered the car finance market with Car Buying Guru. And I'm telling you, like 5-10 years ago, you wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. But because of the internet, because of using platforms like Facebook, here on YouTube, etc., I'm able to have a business a lot easier than I would have a long time ago. Or not so long ago, should I say. Okay, in this next clip, Dame talks about loving the struggle and the pain of building. Now, personally, this is something that I didn't really understand when I first saw this video, because I saw it prior to me starting my business, I believe. Or at least at the very early stages of me starting my business. And now, looking back, I can actually really get where he's coming from. Having that pain, but knowing that something good is coming and actually seeing something good come from it is something that you've got to learn when building a business. Hear what he's got to say about it.
So, yeah, sometimes you have
application is how you learn. Period.
Yeah, but you lose money because anything you do the first time, you're not going to do it right. It's going to be painful. But I'm all right for that because I like to fight. Like, you could ask Rocky, I loved how it felt when it was looking dark and it wasn't going to work and it was becoming competitive for me. I was like, I'm being challenged. Let's go. You know, it made me get busy. You saw how I was.
Yeah, I remember. I definitely remember.
I love that shit. That's
I came out here one night and it was a situation with the editor, different situations. So, but you stand up and you just keep moving.
Like things.
Paperwork was a real issue.
Put it like this: when things happen, I embrace it because I know things are supposed to happen, and you can't get to the finish line without the pain. So until the pain comes, that means you got a kind of a far journey ahead of you. Yeah. So it's like, okay, here's the pain, pause, and if I'm strong enough to deal with the pain, if I can get over this hump, I know that everything I want is there. So it means I'm almost there. So when it comes, I don't worry because it's supposed to come. Half of worrying is being surprised. But most of the shit you worry about never even fucking happens. So why take some time worrying about shit that's not gonna happen? That's a waste of time. Yeah. And I always tell people, if you got time to worry, it's because you're not working. You don't have time to worry when you're working. And you don't have,
especially about other people.
And you don't have time to worry about other people when you're enjoying what you do and you feel good about yourself because you're too busy on your own.
Exactly.
Look, I'm worried about I'm way too worried about myself to worry about what somebody else is doing and to talk about it. Like,
see, as you see there, he says it himself. He actually loves the struggle. He actually loves being challenged. He actually loves being questioned on whether he can do something, or is the competition going to be too strong for him? People doubting him, basically. So yeah, I really, really respect what he's saying there. And it's something that I've had to learn, and I'm still learning on how to develop myself. But once I get there, and I'm sure when you guys get there, if you are looking to enter the entrepreneurial or the self-employed world, you're going to learn to love it too, and just know that you can't get sunny days without rainy days like today. You could probably hear the pitter-patter on my conservatory as I'm recording it, but without winter, where we are now in January, we can't get July and August when the summer comes. So it's all part and parcel in everything. So yeah, it's all part and parcel in life. So, and that includes the business world. Now the next one's an interesting one. And again, it's weird. Like when I listen and watch Dame Dash, a lot of it I think that applies to me, or I could see that's in me. And one of them is working for the future. I had to learn how to trust my gut instinct, because I mean, a few years ago, quite a few years ago, going on 10 years ago now, I had a dabble in the music industry, and I was saying to someone that was sort of like a mentor to me in the industry, he still is in the game, to be fair, doing very well for himself, but I said to him, I'm just going to start throwing out music for free. And he was like, no, that's not how the industry does it. You need to be able to get people to pay for your music, get the singles sold, etc. Now, I was a manager. It weren't my music. I wasn't the artist, and I followed the traditional template. Roll on 10 years down the line, people are giving music away for free. Stuff like SoundCloud come about. More people started sticking stuff on places like YouTube, etc. And I missed the boat in being innovative. Now, here Dame Dash talks about it and how he saw the internet and how he made a move almost straight away, the direct-to-consumer thing. And I just wish that I had this information when I was younger. So I'm sharing it with you guys and see what you guys can make of it.
Whoever's 50 to 60, they don't count no more. Not to say as people, just as a consumer. because they're not going to be here that much longer. The 10-year-old counts because in 10 years, they're going to be 20. They doing the direct-to-consumer thing. See, me, I always invest in my future. My future is always dictated by my past. So in my present, my present is always dictated by my past. So in my present, I'm always investing in my future. See, what I'm doing right now, it didn't just happen. I planned it 5 years ago. I planned this conversation. I've been here before. I was like, you understand what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I'm going to do this. You remember Black Rock was 5-6 years ago.
That's right.
I was doing webisodes. I was using 5Ds, 5-6. The Canon gave it to me. Go. You can go to blackrock.com right now and look at it. I had RZA, all that. It was rock and roll. It was rap. And I put one out a week. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to do the original content, but I got to figure out how to sell it. So I had to develop it. I got my man Gabron, his company, and we've been developing it for years, developing it. And then during that time, I was looking for cool people around the world because I can't get no money in America. It's too crowded. Like, if you from the street, you know, once it's 2 for $5s, you out of there. You know, it starts as dimes, then it's nicks, then it's trays, it's 2 for $5s, it's too crowded, you got to go.
There you have it. So if you was able to sit back and look at the internet like Dame did and think, you know what, I could do this, that, and the third, you could probably be in a lot better position. Like myself, I saw it coming. I had an idea of a few things. Like I said, giving away music for free to artists I was managing at the time. Putting videos on a platform and having people freestyle, which now turned into something like GRM Daily or World Star Hip Hop. I had these ideas, but there's no point talking about it now. I suggest to anyone in a similar position, trust your gut, go for it like Dame says he did, and start working for the future, because yesterday and today aren't really relevant in this game. You got to be working for the next step. And the last one, this is probably the biggest fuel I get in life and in business especially, proving people wrong. Like, a lot of people are going to doubt you. Dame in this next clip talks about how people in his school didn't look at him as anything. They kicked him out, and they turn back around and they ask him to do some crazy stuff. Take a look.
Who cares? Like, successful people don't care about what another person's doing.
Successful people want everybody else to succeed too.
Exactly, that's my point.
You know, that's this whole mindset that people don't understand.
Right. So it's usually a bunch of unsuccessful, bitter people. And, you know, I was the guy in school that, you know, got kicked out of every school. I was the class clown. You know, I wasn't the guy that you would traditionally think would go this far. So me making it made all my teachers look stupid. Every principal that kicked me out of school looked stupid. You know, I went to South Kent in Connecticut on scholarship. I didn't come back the next year. The next time I came back was on a helicopter, and I landed it on the soccer field. You know, when I got kicked out of Dwight in the 7th grade, you know, my son came back and they were asking me, you know, I put my son through there. I paid full tuition plus extras for tutoring, and they asked me to build a library. I'm like, the same principal that kicked me out is asking me to build a library. So it's egg on all their faces. You know, my success makes a lot of people look like they were wrong, because a lot of people articulated the fact that I wouldn't be what I am today. And either way, I didn't care, but I think it's kind of funny. It's egg all over their face, scrambled.
So yeah, as you see, they're asking him to do some crazy stuff like build a library. I think he said it. It's mad. But that's how the times can change. That's how quickly things can shift. So just keep going. And yeah, stick to your plan, stick to your gut. But yeah, guys, that's it from me on this one. I'm going to do some more like this. But yeah, I mean, there's some great bits of inspiration from Dame Dash. Like I said, I sit here and watch videos like this. There's so many people that I get inspiration from. So I'm going to do a series of these. I'm going to try and knock them out as often as possible. So please subscribe. If you like the video, you like the content, please drop it a like. Don't forget to follow me on social media. On Instagram, Mr. Gavin Cameron. On Twitter, Mr. Gavin Cameron 7. And you could also find me on Facebook, Mr. Gavin Cameron. So check out all my pages, check out my content, and keep stuff coming. Thank you for watching. Peace and love, and keep hustling, keep going, man.